Good evening, everybody. It's great to see so many of you here. We have some 40 livery companies represented in this room tonight, which was really good. I just want to thank the Worshipful Company of Barbers for their kind generosity in allowing us to use this wonderful hall tonight, and to Dr. Tim Cutler, past master here, for his very warm and hospitable welcome. Thank you, Tim. And also the beadle here, Tony Gilardi, who's put a lot of time and effort into making this work. One final thank you before I go on to the presentation. The PLT events team have done a great job in pulling this together. Frank Sheddick has led the event with some really good support from Becky. Becky actually left us a few weeks ago, but she can't keep away. So in her spare time, she's been providing support. And Becky, wherever you are, thank you very much for your loyalty and commitment. And we also have in the other corner Gemma Waugh, who's taken over from Becky. Gemma actually started on Monday of this week. So welcome to PLT, Gemma. I'm just going to go into a little visual review of what we've achieved this year.
The focus and connection between the human species and nature has never been more necessary than it is now. We must engage with more nature at every opportunity to create a balance in our lives between the ever-growing reliance on technology in today's world and appreciating and engaging with nature, because it has such a positive impact on our mental and physical well-being. We live a complex life alongside nature, and pollinators are a key part to helping plants to grow. They're needed for the production of fruit, vegetables and nuts. And if you add all of those together, it's almost half the world's oils, fabrics, materials that we use in our daily lives. It's important to bear in mind that it's not just insects, of course. It's also bats and birds and even the wind as well. But pollinators, well, they provide their services to over 180,000 different species and more than 1,200 crops. Now that means 1 out of every 3 bites of food you eat is there because of pollinators. Please take the time to support this important campaign to make London a better place for pollinators. For more information and inspiration, visit the website pollinatinglondontogether.com.
So you can, you see we've had a very busy year, and we're very proud of what we've achieved this year. We've been able to do this because we collaborate and work together as a very close and well-knitted team. Our major successes of this year, Heather's touched on them, and some of them, as securing the fund from the City of London Corporation Community Infrastructure Levy Neighbourhood Fund. I got it right as well, Heather. We normally get it right about 8 times out of 10. It's a bit of a challenge and a bit of a mouthful. The grant, as Heather said, has allowed us to develop this MOU with Reading University, and Constantinos and Louise out there in the field have developed these baselines on which we can build upon in the future. In events, you saw some pictures there of the Equinox dinner. One of the highlights was the speech of Professor Sapatha Dasgupta, who talked to us about the economics of biodiversity. And then the Lord Mayor's Show. We were very pleased to participate in the Lord Mayor's Show. We had some funding from the Bupa Foundation, along with a number of our livery company members, to make that all very possible. And you saw there me presenting. I don't know whether you could read the Lord Mayor's lips when he saw this bee hotel. He said, amazing. And it was really, really good. We learned how to read lips during the period of Zoom, didn't we, when people are always on mute and you have to lip read. So it was really, really pleasing to hear the Lord Mayor, or to see the Lord Mayor say that. And the bee hotel was actually developed by Robin Dean, who's got those little bee hotels outside there. Robin, he has a business, the Red Beehive Company. We're pleased that he's here this evening. He can talk to you about how he develops those bee hotels. So, in terms of events, great to have you all here this evening. During the course of this year, we've hosted 8 events, and we've had 800 people attending those 8 events, which we think is really good. But please do keep attending events, as they help create and develop the PLT pan-livery community, which we feel is very, very, very important. The events group are busy working on their schedule for next year, and watch this space. Plans to be shared in due course. So, I may have gone through 2 slides. So, this is, we were very pleased to have Nicholas Lyons at our Equinox dinner, and this was what the current Lord Mayor actually said when he was about to become Lord Mayor. I think a great endorsement of what we've achieved so far, and words of encouragement to progress with this important initiative. So we've been working on our business plan. It's taken quite some time to develop. It was actually approved by the board last week. We did a better job this year. We only had 10 versions, whereas last year we had 19 iterations. And the improvement was largely due to Suzanne, who did a great job in coordinating all of the inputs from the various members of the PLT team. We also assembled a strategy board to assist with developing our direction for the future and provide input to our business plan. And you see we've got some really esteemed individuals there who are leaders in their own fields. I think we have 3 of them here tonight. We've got Tim, past master, Westfield Company of Grocers, Tim Coleridge. Thanks very much for your input. I can see Andrew Jones over there. Thanks, Andrew, for your inputs. And we had Alison here earlier, but Alison had to dash off to another event. But we've got to assemble a really good strategy board to help us deliver and move forward. Whilst not wanting to repeat what Heather said earlier, I do want to reiterate the importance of evidence-based science, and that's the cornerstone of everything that we do. We've heard from Constantinos about the work that he and Louise have done for us this year. Constantinos has only worked on a part-time basis, maybe how many days? Maybe 30, 40 days. But next year, Konstantinos, when you're working for 250 days, we expect 5 times the output. No pressure. But this is all, the work that Louise and Konstantinos and Louise has done is on top of the 3 seasons of PLT, actually checking and improving pollinator planting throughout the city. So we've decided to expand our membership offering beyond livery companies. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. We've also decided to formalise our recruiting working group under the chairmanship of our new board member, Steve Emmons, the immediate past master from Security Professionals. Very pleased to have Steve on board. We currently have 29 livery company members, and we're engaged with another 40 or so. But there are 18 livery companies that are represented tonight here who are not members and potential members, and some discussions to be had during the course of the evening and beyond. So let's talk a little bit about membership. So firstly, there are no membership or subscription fees, but you can, of course, donate to support to PLT campaigns or the core organisation, or host an event at your hall or facility, sponsor events directly, or through donating food, drink, or giving pollinator-themed prizes. You can volunteer to work in one of our working groups and learn how to create new pollinator-friendly habitats in your city outdoor space or even at home. Encourage your livery company members to participate in the citizen science work that Heather has been talking about earlier. But generally, be part of a positive force for change in the City of London and potentially beyond, making it a better place for pollinators and humans. I touched on working groups there. We want new members to get involved with our working groups: science, education, communications, fundraising, and events, and now recruitment. Currently, we've got more than 20 individuals from 12 livery companies working across our working groups. Ideally, we would like each working group to have 10 members with a vice chair in addition to the current chairs. Fundraising. We'll develop a long-term sustainable funding basis, building on the generous initial support in order to achieve a more robust approach with known budgeted costs and income looking forward. Heather talked about the biodiversity corridors experiment in her presentation. We see this as a potential fundraising opportunity by engaging with corporates on or close to those corridors. This was actually an idea presented at one of our strategy board meetings by Alderman Professor Michael Manelli, and certainly something that we're going to pursue as we map out these corridors and look at who's on them or close to them. So we become established with the generous support of the Wax Chandlers Charitable Trust, the Worshipful Company of Gardeners, individuals and other donations, for which we are very, very grateful. The next stage in our development is to establish PLT as a charitable incorporated organisation. The application was submitted a couple of months back to the Charities Commission. We've got Rue Wu here, a Charities Commission legal expert, here with us this evening. Rue has greatly expertly guided us through the application process and is on standby to assist with dealing with any questions from the Charity Commission as they may arise. Heather mentioned education is an extremely important aspect of our future plans, and we're delighted to be engaged with the Worshipful Company of Educators, and we have representatives from the Worshipful Company of Educators in 2 of our working groups. We also have a close and developing relationship with Livery Schools Link. Rob Casey, past master water conservator, has joined our board. His links with education will certainly be most beneficial to our future plans. We'll continue to engage with livery company schools, and also build relationships on the back of what Heather said earlier with schools in disadvantaged communities, and on the back of the work that Heather has done with those community workshops. We want to build our infrastructure. We've achieved a lot with a highly committed and dedicated group of livery company volunteers, with the support of a project coordinator and a part-time intern. We're looking to raise funds in order to recruit a chief operating officer and a market outreach officer. We need to raise around £100,000 to do that. As I said earlier, there's no livery company membership fee, but you may consider charitable funding or personal donations to help support our work. Maybe you have contacts with other charitable foundations who might like to consider working with us. So the review of the habitats that Konstantinos and Heather of the team have undertaken have set the scene for developing a standard, we believe, not only on pollinators and the green spaces, but also the important link to mental health and well-being. We're setting up a small working group in the early part of next year, which Heather is going to chair, and we're very pleased to have on board 3 professors, Alistair Griffiths from the RHS, Simon Potts from Reading University, and Jane Mehmet from Bristol University, who's got a great background in urban pollination. So we're going to kick it off in the first quarter of next year. The whole programme may well take 2 to 3 years to complete. So, finally, in wrapping up, my call to action. Let's get involved and make the city great. We all know very well that there are 2 major planetary emergencies: climate change and biodiversity loss. Both are in need of urgent attention. We have no planet B. Effective use of green spaces can help with climate change and biodiversity and well-being. It's clear from the pressures of the pandemic that green spaces are vitally important to people's mental health. For those livery companies with us this evening who are not currently members, I would encourage you to join PLT and get involved with us to help make the city great by redressing the plight of all pollinators, including bees, butterflies, moths, hoverflies and beetles, to help create improved environments in the open spaces of the City of London for the benefit of all. Thank you very much.